Up my fun phone. Alrighty, got all set. Started a couple minutes later. I was trying to gather up my dog because I was trying to get all my stuff gathered up because once more I was like, oh no, I am not actually have as much stuff gathered up for this as I thought I did. So because of that, I was gathering up all my stuff, and then my dog, if I'm like wandering around, he's like wants to follow me, and he's desperately trying to figure out what I'm doing because it freaks him out if he doesn't understand what I'm doing. So because of that, he is he runs around the house with his toy in his mouth, and I'm trying to gather him up. I'm like, come on, we're gonna go in the room. And then he's just like, I finally get him rounded up, and I had to like call him and poke at him, kind of prompt him to come into the room. But then he came into the room, and he ran away actually because he wanted to get his plush bumblebee and bring it and put it on his blanket that I put in my streaming room. So I think he seems to be understanding when I stream what I'm doing and that I'm streaming. So because of that, he seems to understand. So he wanted to bring his bee in here, which was really cute. And then he dropped his bee and he gave me a kiss, and then I came over here. Okay, he's a sweet little baby. But I hope everybody's day is going good so far. I had a good day so far. I had a phone call with my friend Casper, and we had a lot of fun talking about an idea they have, and then also some podcast stuff for my upcoming podcast. So I'm really excited about that. It was a lot of fun. It's a really good conversation. So we had that, and got some Etsy orders packed and in the mail. So that was also fun. I have some new Etsy products in mind, and in mind means I have not yet created them, but I'm in the process of creating them. So that should be exciting. I'm not going to give any spoilers about what the Etsy product is, but hint, it has to do with frogs. My frog stickers are still among my most popular stickers. So because of that, they're one of my top 2 most popular probably. But I'm really excited about the product because I think a lot of people are really going to love it. But yeah, today I actually remembered to put the room light on before I came over here to start painting, so that's a good thing. Because it can get pretty dark over here depending on how many clouds are in the sky, because Florida during the summer has so many clouds and so many random rainstorms. Alrighty. So today we're going to be painting Dirish. I forgot what her exact job is, but she does some kind of job that, if I'm remembering correctly, is kind of like a bounty hunter for the Raven Queen. I don't think that's how it was described, but that's how my brain remembered it, so I'm sorry if that's not what she does. She works for the Raven Queen, I do know that. And she is also in Welcome to Nexilis, the wife of Beckett, which is super adorable. I'm pretty sure they're married. Anyways, it's always me being like, do these characters get married or not? But yeah, she's very cool and badass. And a little spoiler for Welcome to Nexilis, just a little spoiler. When Beckett came to Nexilis, Dirish was the first person that welcomed her. And then they got married. Or the other way around. My brain right now is not a fan of details. So my brain's like, one of the two of them. No, I know what. Okay, I just remembered. Beckett was already in Nexilis, so when Dirish came to Nexilis, Beckett was the first person she saw. That's how it is. I knew I'd remember it eventually. There, I'm better than I used to be about making references to things, which is good because for a long time I was like, I'm not good at making references. I'm a lot better about connecting things and being able to make references. I'm still not good at remembering quotes from things though, unless I write them down. So certain details like that in people's names, I'm not the best at. I am good at making sometimes, in my opinion, seemingly weird or random connections. Like someone will be like, "It's like this," and I'm like, "Oh, it's like this other thing." But you make it work. I do feel like I'm skilled at that, so that's something. But it's been interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing, like, when I'm done with the Nexilis character portraits, I'm going to be interested to look at the first couple of them versus how they end up being. Because I feel like I've gotten a lot better at painting since I've started these. Like, I looked at my painting of Dimitri last week and I was like, heck, this is a good painting. Way better than paintings I made, at the beginning of this. Not that they were bad, but it's just they got better. Which is good. I have many more hours of practice into painting people. And I was also thinking, like, I still have quite a few more Nexilis portraits. We think we have Beckett, Malik, Dalavash, Hitchwire, Mikhail, Claudius, Birin, Roger, Meredith. I know I'm forgetting somebody. Who am I forgetting? Did the Dwyers. I did Richard. I did Thespis. I did everybody in Amir's little grouping. I've not done Claudius. That might be all of the ones. I still feel like I'm forgetting somebody. It's probably something really obvious. I still have a couple more months of Nexilis portraits. But I'm like thinking like, what do I want to do after that? So I'll have to think of a new project. Cause I've been having a lot of fun with the Nexilis portraits. And it's nice to have, like, I paint something different every week, but it's in the same vein, so I don't have to think too much about preparing. I just need to think, like, what does the character look like? And then I can do it. So, that is fun and exciting. And by the day, I'm getting closer and closer to having my, sorry, I just realized that, not that anybody can see my shirt, but I put on a shirt, like an older shirt, because I was going to eat ramen for lunch. And my ramen tends to splash and get grease on my shirt. So I was like, I'm not going to wear my nice shirt. I'm going to wear this older shirt. And I was like, why am I still wearing it? Doesn't matter because no one can see it. And it's a legitimate shirt anyways. It's just an older shirt. But anyways, by the day, I'm getting closer to being able to do other streams. Which I'm excited about because with these art streams, they're an average of an hour and a half, 2 hours long. Unless they're all, 2 hours long, they're not gonna make the 8 hours of streaming per month that I need to be a Twitch affiliate. I think that's the lowest level step up, I think Twitch partner is the higher one. My brain always mixes up the two of them because they sound very similar. But anyways, but I do want to do more streaming, and I do want to be able to, do the 8 hours. But again, just doing the painting streams wouldn't really work. And like theoretically I could do another painting stream each month, but I do like to, you know, spread out what I do and have a larger variety. So, because of that, I do want to do streams of other things. I'm trying to think with this painting also as a side note. Okay. I want a raven next to her head because it will be cool. And the raven is sitting on her hand. Damn. Okay, I'm just trying to think about how a hand is shaped and what also a human arm is capable of doing. Because I was thinking, like, she could have it on the palm of her hand. But that'd be an awkward angle to have a bird sitting in her hand. Her hand would be, like, really bent. So I think it's better if she has her hand just like this, like in front of her chest, kind of. So the raven will be about here. Unless maybe it's on her shoulder. Just me thinking the logistics, what one can reasonably do with their hand, and comfortably. If I can't comfortably do it, I'm pretty flexible. If it's an awkward position for me, it's probably also awkward for other people. I'm just thinking, like, how would be a cool badass looking way for a raven to sit on someone's hand? Maybe on her wrist, and her arm would be like this, and her hand would be like this. We put the raven basically at armpit level. Okay. Just me, like, sometimes you gotta be your own pose reference. Because I'm like, how would be a way that you would actually hold a raven? Where would everything be? So, okay, so her shoulder would be here. Her armpit would be about here. So her fist could be right here. Because the raven's going to be sitting on her wrist. I'm also trying to think, like, what's an appropriate sized hand in comparison to someone's face? I feel like that's probably proportionate enough. Because basically what she's doing, she has her hand like this and the raven's sitting about here, but she has her arm kind of cocked back so that the raven is kind of at shoulder, like where her shoulder would be. So the raven's about here. Trying to think about where the thumb is also. Just trying to do a badass pose, that's what I'm trying to do. Because Dirish is very badass. So I want a cool raven pose that matches how badass she is. That's the real issue. Anyways. Haha. Drawing a wrist is hard. Anyways. I might figure out where her shirt falls in this, but for now I'll paint this. Because it won't hurt. Anyways. But yeah, I'm getting closer and closer to being able to stream other stuff, which I'm very excited about. Because it's something I wanted to do for a long time. I'm trying to also think about how knuckles are shaped. Anyways, for a long time, I wanted to build stream digital art. But I If you've been on my streams before, you've heard me talk about how slow my computer is. Haha, I made a fist that looks real! I'm excited. I'm excited because every time I'm like, I'm going to paint a fist and it always looks weird. I'm also just trying to get, especially darker paint colors. A lot of times the darker paint colors, you have to do layers. Otherwise you can see the brush strokes. So I'm just trying to fix that. Like, it doesn't need to be solid, but I do want it to be evenly colored. Not be streaky and weird. Which I want to note, it was a very smart choice on my part to use, my brain's like, what is this paper called? Cardstock. It's a very smart choice for me to use cardstock. I'm glad that I made that choice because cardstock can hold a lot more paint without curling than a regular piece of paper. But anyways, yeah, what I was saying is that I'm really excited because I soon will get to stream games and digital art as well. Which I'm hyped about because there are a lot of games and stuff that I would like to play. And like, I want to be able to play the games in general, which I need a better computer for. But I also, there's a lot of games I would like to stream. Like, when I stream games, for now, because I am very busy, I'm not gonna probably stream games yet every week. Or I might do every week. But just, like, when I stream, some streams may only be, like, 45 minutes, an hour or two. Like, we'll see how it goes. Streams might be shorter. At this point, I probably don't have time to stream. Like, as great as it would be, like, I'm going to stream for 4 hours. I probably don't have time to do that on a regular basis. But it will still be a lot of fun to stream. Still be a fun place to hang out and play some games. Because I do want to prioritize playing games more. I tend to just be like, if something's not productive for me from a work standpoint, I don't do it. So I'm so much ingrained in that mindset. I mean, and it's not, part of it probably is a toxic internalized capitalism to some degree. As far as, let me think, I'm just thinking where the Raven would be. Some of it probably is toxic internalized capitalism. I'm also going to look up a picture of a Raven. Anyways. Some of it probably is toxic internalized capitalism. Because I probably am like, I must work on stuff all the time to be a valid member of society. Part of it probably is that. But another part of it is I've always been like that. I mean, it's hard for me to separate how much of it is related to capitalism, how much of it isn't. Because the problem is that a large portion of me making stuff as a teenager, I didn't have a job. It was me I was very, very isolated. So it was me making stuff to be less isolated and to give myself something to do. So I was very isolated, and that's why I created so much stuff, because I needed something to do. But okay, painting the Raven. That's why I'm laughing. Okay, cool. I'm just thinking how ravens are shaped. Anyways, I'm trying to not knock over my paint. I made stuff as a teenager because I was very bored and very lonely, and I had to do something. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll make stuff. And like it was something I wanted to do. I wanted to be creative, and I had a big drive to be creative, and it was an outlet for like me feeling a connection to the world. But I also did it a lot and like, to be honest, to like hopefully like free myself from this isolation that I felt. Um, so because of that, it's kind of hard for me to tell where all that ends and where genuinely like I am working on this thing begins. Um, so part of it again is me feeling I need to like I must do this to free myself, and part of that still stands because it's me trying to make a living for myself doing stuff that I enjoy doing. Um, a little birdie boy. Um, it's me trying to like make a living for myself doing stuff I actually like doing. So it still has that element of like I need to use this to escape from something, creating stuff, but also I do it for fun. But it's still like I push myself. Here, the reason I push myself to do so much stuff, part of it might have to do with like being like I must be productive to be successful. Part of it definitely is that I think, but another part of it is that I like doing all this stuff and I have so many things, so I feel like I need to do them because I want to get these done because I know I'll have more ideas that I need to do, and like I always feel short on time, and I probably shouldn't feel that short on time, but anyways, um, but also I also like making all this stuff, but yeah, it's basically it's hard for me to figure out like what parts of this is me feeling like I need to be productive and what part of it isn't. But if I can convince myself that something which is relaxing is also productive, great. That makes me that much more likely to do it. For example, I'm like, I want to read more books. I want to watch more television. Television in particular is a harder one. Um, Mostly because growing up, both because of how my family was and also because I was very pretentious, I was like, TV is for normal people. I was very much in that like cool people don't watch TV, and now like no, I totally don't feel that way. But me as a pretentious teenager was like, I'm better than that. I'm better than watching TV shows, and like I did listen to a lot of music and I read books, but I didn't read. I read books to learn stuff more so, not because I was like reading a book for fun. It was more like I'm reading a book so I can learn stuff. And I like read classics. I was very pretentious in my book selection. But so I still have a bit of that internalized like if I'm watching TV, I'm not creating something. So, like I should be making stuff. I'm clearing my throat like that because I'm also thinking about a personal development community, like an online community that I was part of for a decent portion. Um, and also, in general, a lot of personal development themed things. Many of them have a very negative view towards phones and technology. I will say that. Many of them are like, oh, don't go on your phone. If you're going on your phone, you're not a next level person, which is ridiculous to me now. But at the time, I was like, ooh, maybe there's something to that. And a lot of them also, including the one I was part of several years ago, they were like, only watch television if it's for learning. They're like, don't put in garbage into your mind. What you put in is what you get out. And I'm like, at the time, I was like, ooh, this is some fancy stuff. I was also paying a lot to be part of this, so that probably influenced me feeling positively towards this. But anyways, I convinced myself, kind of as I'm kind of training myself out of that, a compromise is like, because I had such a negative view of like, oh, if I'm not creating stuff, I'm wasting my time. Trying to teach myself it's okay to do quote unquote these waste of time. Um, I mean that sarcastically, just for clarification. Um, I convince myself it's okay to do these things by making it like a productive game for me. For example, if I'm just like, I'm gonna watch a TV show, sometimes my brain is like, no, no TV shows for you. Create something instead. You're wasting your time. And to counteract that, and to actually, enjoy life and enjoy things, to do so, um, excuse me, I have my monthly list that I publish on my blog of my media that I consume that month. So it'd be games that I played, it would be music I listened to, books I read, um, movie and TV show episodes I watched. So I convinced myself to consume more media by making it like, hey, you want to have cool stuff to put on this list at the end of the month, don't you? So if I'm feeling like, oh, I don't have time to do this, I should be working, to get, like, literally to convince myself to chill and just enjoy life, I made a cool game. Like, oh, like, I can watch this movie because watching this movie will give me content for this blog post that I'm going to make. I'm trying to think how wide bird legs actually are. But like, this will give me content for this blog post I'm going to make. Like, that's what I want, so because of that, I convinced myself to actually do these things that I should be doing. Because I convinced myself that it's like, okay, I'm pleased with this. Anyways, I convinced myself the fact that, like, if I do this, it's something for me to put on this list. I'm not wasting my time because I'm tracking this and making a blog post out of how much media I consume. So because I've painted it in a positive light in that standpoint, then like I don't have so much guilt, because I literally have guilt before. I would literally have guilt if I was like, oh, I'm wasting my time just reading this book real quick and I'm not learning anything. It's really messed up. I'll be the first to say, like, that's a messed up way to live your life. So I do not advocate for that at all. But me as an impressionable young 20s person who had many untreated mental health problems, I was always looking for some way to be enlightened from that, and to like, oh, if I fix this one problem of mine, I'll fix all my mental health problems. So I can only find this magical key that's keeping me unhappy. Which is a big problem I have with the personal development community. There's nothing inherently necessarily wrong with it if it's your thing. It's just some parts of it are toxic. There are a lot of parts that have toxic positivity. Being like, just calm down. You've got this. Or being like, it's all in your mind. You just need to think positively. For people who, if those things genuinely help some people, great, good for them. But the majority of people who are hearing messages like that probably need some kind of professional help, and I know professional help is not accessible to everybody. But a lot of these courses aren't either, because they're expensive. And a lot of the communities are expensive to be part of. So a lot of these people would be better spending that money on professional help and not a course. Or, there's a lot of books and stuff that also have that. And like, if it works for those people, cool. But I've also seen in those type of communities a lot of gaslighting. in the sense of like mental health gaslighting. People convincing themselves like, I cured my mental health problems because I thought positively and I was grateful. If you genuinely get rid of your problem that way, good for you. But I feel like a lot of people who do fall into that didn't really get rid of their problem. They just convinced themselves they got rid of their problem. I know that was me. I'm speaking about this because this was me in my 20s. I was part of a group. In addition to being part of this group wasn't the only element in it. I also did a lot of reading of personal development materials on my own. But this group and the materials I was reading were all very much along the lines of like, if you have depression or whatever, you can fix that. You can, and there's so many different things that were suggested, but they're like, you can do this. But the thing is that because of the stuff I was reading and because I felt pressured by the group, not because the group ever said anything to me, but just because I paid money to be part of this course, and also because of all this other stuff I was reading, I felt this need of like, I am investing a lot of time and effort and even money into this. I need to see some results from this. And I wasn't seeing results, so I'm like, what am I doing wrong? I must be doing something wrong if I'm not getting results. This is guaranteed to change my life. But the issue is that I didn't actually fix anything. I convinced myself at one point through all this stuff. I was like, I've cured my depression. I wrote an article that I published widely online about how I cured my depression. Basically with just like realizing like, I can change this. It's not set in stone. And the big problem with this is the fact that I hadn't actually changed anything. In reality, the reason that I was like, oh wow, I got, rid of this depression I had. The real reason was because I would later go on to be diagnosed with having things like bipolar and borderline personality disorder, both of those, which together is a real trip, I will say that much. So I had severe untreated mental illnesses, and because of the natural way that those mental illnesses go, for example with bipolar, because of that, I was like, okay, I've gotten rid of this problem. This is magical. And reality is that I had just gone into another hypomanic phase. And for those unfamiliar with bipolar, I have bipolar 2, which is more rapid cycling than bipolar 1. Bipolar 1 people generally have longer episodes of either mania, which is like the opposite kind of depression, but in a weird way. I'm sure there's a lot of people who can describe it a lot better than me. But it's the opposite of depression in a weird way, though. It's not like being really happy. It can feel that way, but it's also, especially if you go too far into mania, not just hypomania, it's wild. And it's not like, ooh, mania, a happy thing. I would feel good when I'd be in hypomania, which hypomania, like, true mania can be really severe. Hypomania is like a less severe version of mania. I'm sorry if that's a poor description of it. I'm trying to think of how to explain it. But anyways. Just want to think what hair color to do. I'm trying to not have it too kind of monochromatic of just being black and brown. Yeah, I'm just thinking about the outfit. Okay. Anyways, so the thing is, is that I thought I'd cured my depression because I had been depressed and suddenly I felt good. When in reality, it was really that my body had gone through its normal cycle of being depressed and then feeling good, which was the hypomania. And again, I'm sorry if my description probably wasn't the best description. And it's from, like, everybody's experience is different. From my personal experience, it sucked because you'd be feeling really depressed and suddenly you'd feel a lot better all of a sudden, like out of the blue, and you'd feel great. And like for me personally, I'd be motivated to do everything. I'd talk faster than normal. I'd be really, really motivated to do stuff. I'd have so many ideas. I'd be so excited about so many different things. I just couldn't, like, my thoughts be racing. Sometimes I'd just feel like I was vibrating with, like, good feelings. Like, I could literally feel my body, like, vibrating, but it wasn't actually vibrating. And I just feel, like, really incredibly good. Just out of the blue. And then, equally out of the blue, random, boom, depression again. So, that was how bipolar is for me. But the thing is that the problem is that, so I was like, I cured my depression. Wow. And I hadn't cured anything. I hadn't done anything. But I had convinced myself of that because I was like, I was hypomanic. And I was like, yeah, this is great. And I thought it actually made a change. But the thing is, the gaslighting part comes in because I convinced myself that I'd cured my depression, like permanently cured it. Fun time. All the times that I would, because here's the thing. Having bipolar and borderline personality disorder, which is also called BPD, having both those at the same time is wild. Because both of them make your mood unstable, so your mood's doubly unstable, really. So because of that, it's not a fun time. But what happens basically is, like what I've explained to my doctors and stuff, now that I'm medicated, this doesn't really happen like this anymore, but when I wasn't medicated, I would have phases where I would naturally feel good or bad pretty much all the time. That would be the primary mood of that phase. I need to draw an ear. I just realized that. That'd be the primary mood of either feeling good or bad. But my mood would also shift around within those little phases. That was my borderline personality disorder, which also makes your mood unstable. So, because of that, I would be in a phase, let's say, where I'd primarily feel good, because I did go through a long hypomanic phase. And I'd be in a phase where I'm like, I feel really good. Everything's great. But my borderline personality disorder would still be there, so I'd sometimes feel really bad about things still. But because I'm like, I've cured my depression, I would straight up gaslight myself out of those feelings, and I wouldn't let myself feel the way I was feeling. And I'd be like, I've got to change my feeling. I can't have this feeling. I've cured my depression. I shouldn't be feeling this way. So I'd basically lie to myself and convince myself that I didn't feel that way. Very much repressing my emotions. It wasn't healthy. I was so convinced that I had to uphold, like, that I'd cured my depression, that I was willing to deny outright signs I had not. And I was still in this hypomanic phase. So, it wasn't a vibe. I'm not saying everybody who joins a community like that are, is interested in personal development is like that. I'm not saying that by any means. Mostly it was just me taking it this way. Me thinking that's what it meant. Personal development in combination, like if that's your thing, and if you need mental health help in combination with mental health help, that's great, cool, good. But if you need mental health help and you're only using personal development, and again, if you can't afford mental health help, I totally understand that. But if you can afford it because, for example, you're affording an expensive course, please just go get the mental health help because it is, scientifically backed. And again, it wasn't that the community itself was telling me, like, you can't be depressed, but I felt like I couldn't be depressed. I felt like the expectation is that you join this group to get rid of issues like that. So I had an unhealthy view of it, which is why it went so poorly. But it really sucked lying to myself for such a long time. And being like, yeah, I've fixed all these issues when I hadn't. That sucked. But anyways, I'm trying to think how her hair is going to be. I'm thinking of having it over the shoulder because I don't want it behind the raven because it's cool. And I don't want to like block out the little raven legs. But I think that'd be a cool hairstyle. Kind of like flowing over her shoulder with her braids. Anyways. But yeah, so really it was just the fact that I didn't take this the right way. And that I was just like, yeah. And again, some of the communities can definitely be toxic. Really just depends on how you use the community, but that's my little rant. Like, if you need mental health help, don't try to, fix it with just going to personal development themed things. It's not the be all end all. You'll think you've solved your problem, but you haven't. But yeah. But I'm trying to remember where I got on that topic. Oh, no, that wasn't what it was. Oh, I know. I got on the topic because of my thing of like, oh yeah, watching TV is not healthy. You should avoid it. Okay, now that I've done that, now I can accentuate the braids themselves. Anyways. But the thing is that the thing is so I convinced myself, like, oh yeah, watching TV is good because I can put it on this list of productive things that I've done. Cool. But it's still something I'm trying to unlearn. That was a not so good thing I picked up from these courses and all the books I was reading. But anyways, yeah, I'm looking forward to being able to consume more media when I have my new computer. Because then I'll be able to, first of all, I'll be able to actually watch Netflix again. I had the Netflix app on my phone, but my phone doesn't have any space on it, so I don't have the Netflix app anymore. And my current computer, try though I might, doesn't do well with streaming anything. And by that I also mean with streaming movies or anything, even from Netflix. It'll barely stream Twitch. And by that I mean the screen stops moving a lot. It's a problem. But anyways, I'm also trying to think about or her shoulder would be. And also where her neck would be. Right about there. Okay. But anyways. But the thing is that I also want to stream digital art because it'd be really fun if I'm like, I'm going to design a new sticker and like y'all could watch me design this sticker. I think that'd be great. So, because of that, but there's a lot of games that I'm looking forward to streaming. I know one thing I definitely want to stream is Stardew Valley because I love that game. It's so fun. And I want to be able to hang on. I want to be able to stream it. I do have a file on my phone, but I do want to start a new file. New file just for streaming. But yeah, so I'm definitely going to play Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley is a game that was recommended to me by my friend Casper. Back in the day, it was one of the first... I mean, I played a lot of phone games before, but it was like one of the first games that's also available on Steam that I've played. Hi Sparky. My dog just came over to see me. Come here. No, he's leaving. He came over and he like tried to touch me with his face, and then he ran away. Now he's holding his little plush sheep in his mouth. You're a good boy, Sparky. I love you. I love you. You're a good boy. Back in wood. Anyways, back in the day, Stardew Valley was one of the first games that's available on Steam that I played. And it's still one of my favorite games. It's so good. I enjoy it because A, cottagecore. B, it's nice because you can just kind of chill and play it. Requires thought process, but not an excessive amount of thought process. So even if you're not vibing, if you're not feeling your greatest emotionally, you can still enjoy Stardew Valley, which is something that was really helpful to me because back in the I'm just trying to think how Harry behaved. Like, I don't think it's so much she has a ponytail. I think it's more that her hair is pulled over her shoulder, so I'm gonna draw it over here. Anyways, but back at the beginning, it was more the middle of last year. It's around the time I was starting to get into Stardew. It was also the time that I was trying a lot of different mental health medications that my doctor was prescribing. It was the first time I'd been medicated, so they were starting from scratch. I'd be like, hey, let's try this. A lot of those didn't work very well, but yeah, I had to stay on them for like 2 months, despite the fact that they weren't helping. And in a lot of cases, were making me feel worse. But I had to stay on them so they could test to see, like, ooh, will these eventually work? It wasn't a fun time, to say the least. And because of that, I spent a lot of time being tired or feeling more depressed, and also just had a lot of depression in general. But Stardew Valley was a nice little break from that, because if I wasn't feeling good emotionally, I could just lay on the couch and play Stardew for a couple of hours. So it was nice escapism to just be able to focus on that and not have to think about other things that were bothering me. It was very nice. I gotta remember to draw her eyebrows. Things that occurred to me, it's like, oh shit, no eyebrows. Anyways. But yeah, what I was saying is that, so Stardew was an important game to me in a time when I was struggling with my mental health. And it was very nice escapism to be able to be like, I'm going to play some Stardew. I still love the game so much, and I love when Casper does their Stardew Valley streams. I love watching them play Stardew. It's always a lot of fun. And they're also funny, so. But, like, they're very wholesome. But yeah, Stardew is one of my favorite games. I have not, by any means, completed Dream Daddy, but I did get to my knowledge, a decent bit into it. So because of that, I do want to play Dream Daddy. I'll just start a file if I'm going to stream it. But it's a fun game. I like the characters in it. And it's funny now because I know Jason LaRock, the voice actor who plays Damien in the game. And it's funny because I'm like, thinking back, I'm like, oh yeah, I just played this game. I was just chilling, playing this game. And now, like, whoa, look at this. I'm just planning facial features. Anyways. It's funny because I played the game. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. I'm not even tired. It's funny because I played Dream Daddy. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Cool voice actors. Oops, I did not want to do that. It's like, cool voice actors. And now it's like, it's funny that I was just playing this game and chilling. I was like, oh yeah, Jason LaRock's one of the voice actors. And like, now he's in chats that I'm in. He's a buddy of mine. Like, we talk to each other sometimes. I designed the cover image for the D&D game that Casper runs, who Jason LaRock is a part of. So it's just funny. It's funny. It's gonna be funny playing the game now because I'm like, I know this. I know this guy. Like, that just tickles me when I think about it. Because when I played it the first time, I was not expecting to ever know anybody who was in the game. So that's pleased me a lot. But anyways. But yeah. The thing is so I will play Dream Daddy. I'm just planning this. I'm excited with my plans for it. Anyways, and I also, there are a lot of other games. There's a new one called Baba Is You. I don't know if it's new. It's new to me. I think that's how you say it. It's either Baba or Baba. I think it's Baba though. I've heard good things about it, so I do want to play it. And I'll probably play Fae Fever again just so I can stream it. It doesn't take that long to play it. But it was fun. I do want to cosplay the mayor in that game. But I have a perfect wig for the mayor. I'm very excited. I need to actually remember to just do that though. But anyways. But yeah. What else do I want to play? I do want to play the game Later Alligator. Not get to watch the stream, but I know Casper did. Oops. That's called me sticking the side of my hand to the paint. That was what that sound was. Thankfully, I realized it before I planted my hand back down on the canvas. So other than a little bit of hand texture on the paint, no harm was done. But anyways, um, oops, okay. Anyways, but yeah. So the thing is I have a list on my phone. I've been making a list like when I see a game, I'm like, that game looks cool. I'll play it. Also, one thing I really do hope to do, I very much enjoy old arcade games. So I would like to find a good website or a way to get copies of old arcade games so that I can stream them. When I say old arcade games, I do love me some Dig Dug and Pac-Man, things like that. But I also love some of the, not obscure, but the ones that you don't tend to find on like everybody knows what Pac-Man is. But like Paperboy and Burger Time and Lode Runner and Joust, I think it is. It's got like a flying bird you fly around. There's a bunch more. What's it called? It's not called Raider. Hang on. I gotta Google it. Oh, I think it's called Raiden X. Is it a game? Ha. Hoo, yay. Okay. Raiden X. I am correct in that. Raiden X was also fun. And there's a bunch more. When I was a kid, somehow my dad ended up with a file that had like a disc for a computer that had a bunch of digital versions of old arcade games on it. And I played those so many hours. That was like the one type of video game my parents were cool with me playing. You heard that funny sound in the background? That was my dog biting his sheep toy and it went, meh. I love you, Sparky. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? I will let you out of the room, but you probably won't want to be out there. You're cute. I'll let you out, but you're going to be bored out there. Go out there. Well, my dog has chosen to leave the chat with a anyways. Stretch. Anyways. I'm just thinking about trying to think about what here. I need to mix up the paint color. That's what I was sitting there thinking about. Oops. Not me trying to make a mess in my room, never. Anyways, my parents were not a fan of video games in general, but they were a big fan of old arcade games, so this disc of them, my mom still was very much like, oh, you only can spend this long on the computer. But I would play games like those arcade games, and I got pretty good at them. So I would like to play those again, because they're a lot of fun. I enjoyed them. Here's my other color of pink. I enjoy those games. They're very, very fun. So I would like to do that. That's something that definitely fits into the category of games I would like to play. I just need to... Oh, Frogger. I want to play Frogger. I just need to find a good source to play them, really. It's really the issue. Not all of them are available on Steam. I have looked before. I have hopefully glimpsed, hoping to find those games. But I do know there are places you can play them online. So I will look into that. Still not the right color. Mixing paint colors is hard because you think like, I'm mixing this color with this color will look like this, and it doesn't look like that, and you're like, what's happening? But it's really because of how the pigments are, I think. Do I want to paint? It's also hard because like I have a certain color in mind. And I just want to make a color that looks like that. Okay. I was just trying to make a warmer pinkish tinged brown for Dirish's lips. And have it be a nice lip color. Dang, now that's too dark. Mixing paint is hard. Ooh, maybe this is good. I think this is good. Anyways. Yeah, okay, I like that color. Well, lip color is hard. Trying to pick lip colors that are appropriate. And also look good with the character's vibe. It can be hard. That's the one thing I want to get better painting. Because they're hard to paint. Getting a little bit better at eyes. But mouths still mystify me. Ha ha. I'm always very happy when I draw a mouth. I need to edit. I need it to fix a little bit. What? I got the basic shape in a way that I'm like, that looks like a valid mouth-shaped mouth. Oh, I gotta fix this corner. I want her to be gently smiling. Alrighty. Okay, cool. I'm also thinking about what makeup she's going to be wearing. Me being like, why not make the white part shaped like the whole eye? Questions I ask myself. Time to fix that. I think originally I was drawing the pupils like that. My brain's like, yeah, that's how you draw it. That's correct. I'm like, that's not how I've been drawing, not pupils. I don't know what the white part of your eye is called. Just your eyeball, maybe? I have no idea. It's probably some magical special term for what your eyeball is called. The white part. The non-eyeball. The non-iris part. That's what it is. That's the scientific name for it. Okay, that looks a lot better. Because the eyes also looked kind of small, and I was like, what? Why do they look smaller than I remember making them? Okay. Well, we'll let that dry a little bit. And in the meantime, I will think about what she is wearing. I picture her wearing a shirt with like a high collar. Kind of like a robe. I will need to do some... No, I'm trying to think what to do for her outfit. Okay. Maybe a deep, deep blue. Or dark gray. Call me spinning around. Ooh. 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 Okay, I kind of like this idea. It's like, what about purple? Dark purple. Because I'm, again, trying to give her an outfit like, she's the Raven Queen. She could very well be wearing like a black dress or a black blouse. But I don't want to be too monochromatic. Be like, this painting has two colors. So this nice deep royal purple also looks regal, and we'll give it a little more tonal variation. But I'm just laughing because, like, give it very nice tonal variation. Like, makes you sound like you art critic. But I'm still picturing a high collar on this. There's a name for it. I don't know what it is. Anyways, kind of like priestly, but also, I don't know if it's called a mandarin collar. I can't remember. But like giving priest vibes, but in like a badass way. That's what I'm going for. So her shoulder would come over here. But her arm is angled that way, so her shoulder's kind of moving. Okay. And then get over here, so her shoulder comes to that far. Okay, so her shoulder. I'm just gonna measure because I'm always like, I don't want to make somebody's shoulder different size on the different sides. So, dude, her shoulder's like right at the edge of her hair. Just gonna bloop bloop. I want to make it look like one shoulder's a lot wider than the other shoulder. Wow. Okay, cool. Purple's one of those colors when I paint it that usually has a lot of brush streaks in it. I'm like, purple, why? What are you doing over here, purple? Okay, I have a cool pattern idea. Okay, I'm happy. Designing the outfits for these characters can sometimes be one of the harder parts of drawing them. Because I'm like, I think we'll go into a button-down part then in the middle. It can be a hard part of drawing the characters because some of them do have canonical outfits, but many of them's just like a type of clothing they're wearing. There's not specific, like, they're never seen without their leather jacket and white t-shirt. So I'm just like, what's happening? But it's also fun because I feel like I've gotten a lot better at painting clothing and thinking about how clothing is shaped. But yeah, anyways, I'm excited about playing games on my new computer and excited about also on my new computer being able to stream art, digital art. Because a friend of mine gave me their art tablet. And I'm having so much fun with it so far, and I'm really, really grateful that I now have an art tablet because I wanted one for a long time, but I never ended up getting one. So I was able to give a good home to something a friend of mine didn't want anymore, while also getting a art tablet. My dog must have really gotten bored being in there because I'm just thinking, like, he hasn't tried to come back in here again yet. usually he's so bored and he's like, why are we in there? Kind of like sometime last year, I think in like April or May, I think. I did a D&D campaign. I actually did Welcome to Nexilis. Um, but just with the different player group, but it was still DM'd by Casper. And at first my dog was like, "Oh, it's nice. My mom is in here with me." And after a while, he would start getting really bored and want to leave the room. And like for the final session, he didn't even want to come in there at all. He just like, nope. He just like, and I tried to get him to come in there. And he's like, no, I don't want to be in here. So it's funny because like normally he wants to be wherever I am, but he's like, this is too boring. I'm leaving. So I'm like, suit yourself. This is a prime time for you to hang out with me. But sometimes he gets bored and he's like, I don't care if I want to spend time around you. I'm leaving. This is boring. Seems like that may be what he has done today. Yeah, purple always has so many brush strokes in it. You can kind of see that from your angle. But yeah. But getting a lot of good things sorted out as far as different projects and stuff of mine, so that is very exciting. Getting stuff sorted out with my podcast. Because, like, I have my other podcast I had a couple years ago, so it's technically not my first time making a podcast, but it's my first time making a podcast that, like, I'm actually going to, like, promote. Pretty magical. I say that because I'm not good at promoting my stuff. I'm a lot better now, but for a long time I was horrible at promoting my stuff. It's still something I'm trying to get better at now. Just trying to get people to listen to my stuff or watch my stuff. But anyways, yeah, so it's exciting because there's a lot of new steps. And also a lot of stuff to learn as far as, like, casting and stuff like that. Stuff that I don't know. Granted, like, I'm used to rounding up people to get them to be part of a project. And I'm used to managing projects and stuff like that. But I've not done a project like casting a podcast or stuff like that before. So it's new, helpful things that I'm learning about that. I'm very excited. But I'm trying to think of a funny story to tell or something. Or a thing to explain. Yeah. One thing I've been thinking about, it reminded me about this, thinking about painting clothing. It's always interesting to think about the intersection between, like, gender and how you're being perceived versus what you're wearing. There are many things that I'm like, one thing I'm trying to get better at is wearing what I want more so without worrying so much about how I'll be perceived gender-wise. Because I am non-binary trans-masculine, but also I do consider myself to be, like, gender non-conforming to that. Because I'm trans-masculine, but also I don't really feel a need to conform to masculinity. So I'm just like, okay. And it's always kind of complex to think about things like if I wear this, people will perceive me as cisgender. Not cisgender. um, but people will perceive me as being, male if I wear this, female if I wear this. And, like, being transmasculine and wanting to not be seen as my birth gender. So I don't want to be seen as a girl, but also knowing that people probably are going to anyways. And being like, well, if that's how it's going to be, I should still just wear whatever I want. Because even if I just, like, it is really nice when people do say, like in retail, people be like, hey, buddy, where's this? And they don't correct themselves. Like, they wouldn't say that if they thought I was a girl. So it means that they don't think I'm a girl. So that's always really nice. Because, like, I don't use he, him pronouns, but I'm okay with people using he, him pronouns. But it, like, getting better, because there's a lot of colorful and weird things I would like to wear that I'm like, if I wear this, people are not going to go, ooh, that's a boy. Probably. But they're things I want to wear, and I like the vibe of them. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to wear those. To be honest, there also are a lot of things I would like to wear, but for various reasons, I also don't want to wear them, or I only will wear them for certain circumstances or occasions or brief occasions. Like, for example, for sensory reasons, a lot of jewelry bothers me. My ear piercings are kind of sensitive, but that's not what I mean. Having extra things like dangling off my body, having things like bracelets or necklaces, being able to feel them on my body can be sometimes too distracting, so then I can't wear them. Even though in my perfect world, I'd be like, yeah, I would like to wear those things. I would like to wear these funky jewelry or whatever. But I know if I do wear it, then I'm not going to have a fun time. It's going to distract me way too much. So I can't, even though it'd be great to be able to wear it, I can't just be like, I'm going to wear this. Because if I wear it, my brain's going to be like, what's this thing on our wrist? Ugh. It's not going to be as much of a vibe as you would think it would be. I'm just going to use black for the eye because that looks too light. Not for the eye. For the iris. I keep forgetting what all the parts of eyes are called. The eye part. But anyways. Okay, I like how that's turning out. I feel like art a lot of times is me sitting there and being like, ooh, what is, do I know what's happening? No, I don't know what's happening. Do I hope it turns out okay? Yep. I feel like that's a lot of art. Me being like, I honestly don't know what the hell is happening, but I'm gonna do this and it's gonna work. I feel like that's a lot of making art. Art is a fickle beast. Really, it's a lot of me pretending I know what's happening. Me being like, if I do this, it will look cool. And then hoping that it does. Like, I'm going to try this. Or me starting to do something and thinking, oh no, oh heck, it looks bad, I messed up. And then it turning out okay. I feel like that's what a lot of art making is for me. Me being like, okay, it didn't look as bad as I thought it would. What I am going to do in the center of this like me, like, I'm a clothing designer. Um, trying to think. Okay, so there's a little bit in the front. I'm trying to suggest the collar. I'm trying to get better at doing details like wrinkles and stuff on clothing. And then also what I want to do is think like it'd be easier to do this without paint and with a marker. Trying to draw Sharpies over paint, acrylic paint when it's dry. I've never had good luck with it unless if I put varnish on the painting and then draw on it, it works like a charm. Doesn't work otherwise. It just clogs up the marker. What I want to do though, I'm drawing a little pattern, kind of like a little lacy pattern. Me being like, what would be a cool and badass outfit? Also, two things I need to remember to draw. Like, it won't be that much longer for the background. I need to draw the crease in the lips and the little crow face. And probably some other stuff, but those are two things. I'm like, oh no, I need to draw these. But yeah, so it's mostly just a matter of me being like, I want to wear this. And I should just wear it, even if it's going to change how people perceive my gender. But not always, because there are sometimes I genuinely do want to pass more as being male, so then I don't worry about that. But so I'm trying to think. Maybe that. I'm trying to think what I'm trying to go for, like a fishnet type lace, kind of. I'm trying to go like I can picture her wearing like that she would like punk fashion and goth and emo. I might be wrong with that, but that's just like a vibe that I get. So I'm like, I want to make her outfit cooler than just being just a purple outfit. And I think I'll do the collar like that. But anyways, I think that will work. And I'm just trying to think what to do for the background. I'll probably add a pop of color. I'll probably add this gold that I opened up earlier. But just thinking, my dog apparently still doesn't want to be in here. Yeah. I'm having fun painting this kind of lace pattern. And I like how the little raven turned out, because like I've painted birds before, but I don't think I've specifically painted a raven. But yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of exciting changes and different upgrades and things like that that I've made on various things that I've done. And other things that I plan on upgrading this year. Like, I'm hoping... I want to look into it more. One thing I've been working on, as kind of a side note, working on ways to come up with, like, to make my Etsy packaging better. Like, recently, based on the results of a poll I did on Twitter, finding out, like, do people like when you put their name on the Etsy package? Turns out, yes. They do. About half the people said yes, they do, and about half the people said they didn't care. No one said no, don't do that. So I'm like, that's cool. That's good to know. So I'm going to make an effort now when I send out packages to put people's names in the thank you materials, but know that, like, no one's going to really care if I don't do it, if I forget to do it or something, which is good to know. I know it should be like, one's like, no, but I asked that because I was afraid of coming off as, like, greasy car salesman. I didn't want to come off that way by putting people's names in it. So because of that, then I was like, okay, that worked. Right now I'm trying to think, like, what is Dirish's, like, outfit, actually? I like how it looks. I'm trying to think, like, what would it be in a real-life piece of clothing? Is that my dog? I think it was to come back in my room. Give me a second. Come in here. Come here. Come in here. Hello. He wanted to come back in. He finally was like, wait, my mom is in there. Why are they in there? But anyways, so it was mostly me trying to be like, what do people actually like? Do people like when this happens? Do people not like when it happens? But yeah, so it's just me trying to be like, how can I improve my customer happiness? Now I'll leave it how it is. I'm trying to think. I'm not exactly happy with the shape of the mouth, so I'm going to fix it real quick. I was painting it, and it looked cool, but then it ended up being a slight bit bigger than I was intending initially. So, be an easy fix to fix the proportion. And that's a nice thing about both paint and editing, because I can change. If I'm not happy with how something is, I can just straight up change it. If I'm not happy with the shape, or I know I've had trouble drawing people's fingers before in here. Okay, so that will blend in. And maybe at that point, the slightest little bit of color. Okay. I like that a lot better. That's the shape that I was going for. Alright. So we got that. I'm trying to think. Okay, cool. Getting into the little details. But sorry that my conversation has been less interesting. My brain is kind of slow, and it's been a quieter day on the stream, so there's not as many people in the chat. For if you're watching the view on demand and be like, oh, why is it quiet? I don't mind. I just wanted to let you know that that's why. If it's quiet, I'm trying to think of interesting things to say. But anyways, yeah, I know. Oops. Wait. I was gonna repaint over this little gap because there's a little bit of brush strokes. I want to blend it. Okay. Okay, why did I pick that brush that I picked? Haha, this brush will work. That's what I'm going for. Okay, cool. I'm going to fill this in with yellow. Also, I'm going to add, I can picture her having a nose ring, so I'm going to add that. Goes with her aesthetic, in my opinion. Or at least the aesthetic that I picture when I think about her. But lots of exciting things. Oh, I was saying the fact that maybe sometime later in this year I'll get a cry cut machine. I'm sorry if that's not how you say it. Because somebody I know has one and uses it for stickers and stuff, so because of that, I've been like, hey, that'd be a cool thing. But I'll have to look into, like, is it worth what I'd have to pay for the sticker sheets? It would be nice, especially during busy season, which is in December. Busy season is very busy, and it's a good thing, and I love it very much when I'm making so many orders. But it would be nice if I could save a bit of time on some of the orders, save my wrist a little bit from having to cut out a lot of stickers. Because the cry cut, I've seen it cut out stickers, like prints it and then cuts it out, which is so nice. I would adore that. I just need to, like, with business upgrades, it's mostly just like, at what point is the upgrade worth how much it costs? But I'm looking forward to that because cutting out stickers, I don't think is anybody's favorite part of sticker making. And I would never want to like use more time cutting out stickers than I needed to. But also it's a combination of cost versus the time involved. Like at some point it's cheaper to just do this stuff on your own. And that's one thing I'm looking into. Because you have to, like, if you have, let's say you have an Etsy business, I think you need to think about the future of, let's say, if you make more sales, if it's a kind of Etsy business where you can expand your business, and you do need to, at that point, streamline your packaging and all the fun stuff like that that you're doing. If you're at that point, then it's like, okay, it's easy to upgrade this specific thing or stop doing this one thing I've been doing and do this other thing instead. That's all really, really helpful. So for example, at this point, most of the stuff that I do is still me. Nope. I just got dirty. Oh no. Dang, why are my brushes dirty? Anyways. Ha 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 ha. Anyways, I got rid of it. I was like painting, and there was paint deep up in the paintbrush I didn't know about, and I was like chilling. I was like, oh, this is fun. And I was like, oh no. Anyways, but the thing is that I don't think I've really upgraded anything yet. Oh, I know. Certain things I have upgraded are pretty small. I did them a pretty long time ago. For example, buying things in bulk was kind of an upgrade for me. Rather than just buying, like, I bought 2 manila envelopes. I've got like a box of 100. And having to upgrade from finding a weird old small box in my garage and shipping stuff out, or having to go to the post office to buy it, to buying boxes in bulk for larger things I have to send out. And just in general, getting better like at things rather than having stickers produced somewhere that was like not as cost effective. I started printing my own stickers, which was more cost effective and allowed me to, for example, get stickers to bring to vending events and stuff like that. So you have all that, but also like just changing how I cut out things when I design new things, making sure I'm designing them in a way that makes them easy to cut out, so I'm not, wasting time on corners that don't need to be there, let's say. So just thinking about little things like that make my life easier or make the product packaging nicer. Like a main thing that I did, I used to just use like packing tape to tape the shipping label onto my envelopes, and it was kind of hard sometimes, and it usually did not look very nice. Like now I have the little packing slip holder things, which are real nice, and they did not cost me very much at all. So there's little things like that. Like I don't use that when I ship out things in regular envelopes, but if I ship out art prints and things like that, I do use that. So it's cool, and I appreciate it. But things I'm looking into is like getting my logo stickers printed or cut out by someone else. And like that's not that big of a concern now with my current business volume. But if I'm selling a bunch of things, it would save me time to not have to cut out the little stickers. And there's various other upgrades that I'm kind of looking into, like things that save time so I can continue to sell more stuff on Etsy, but without having to like sprain my wrist trying to cut out like all the little tiny stickers and things. So it's just like things that make my life easier, or also things that make the customer experience nicer. So that's always things I'm looking into. Things like how it can improve my business. Because my Etsy business has grown a lot, and that pleases me a lot. Okay. I'm going to draw this little crow's little eye. Not crow, raven. Okay. And I'm also going to draw the, I'm trying to think. Haha. I successfully did a nose ring. And then also going to do hoop earring. I just picture her wearing a bunch of pretty earrings. Having a little hoop up there. Several more earrings. Okay, I like that. I'm trying to think, because I'm almost done. I'm happy with the lip shape now. The paint that I put on there did not show up. What's that about, paint? Just trying to get paint that's not the same exact color, but it's still similar enough. Just blend it carefully. Ha ha ha. Okay. I'm trying to think if I want to do anything with the background. I do need to touch up this hair, a little bit of purple over here to get rid of the brush strokes. And I think I'm going to make a tiny little shade color to accentuate the knuckles. I need to dilute this down even further. I can just do a little really, really pale knuckle color. I might absorb some of the water off of that. Just a hair little accent on the knuckles. And I just realized like a nice bracelet would be a really good accent to that. I think I just heard our doorbell ring, so if you hear dog barking, I'm sorry. My dog is in here again. But my dad opens the door, may not be so quiet. No, that's me talking to my dog. Yeah, my dad's opening the door. Probably somebody delivering a package. I'm trying to think if I want to add anything to the background. I do need to finish the little crow's little eye. But I'm like, do I like the background how it is? I think it... Damn it. I know y'all show up each week so you can hear me cursing at my paintings. I have a cool idea. Okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna leave the background primarily as it is. But draw the little raven's little eye. Okay. I'm just hyped about how my little raven came out. And his little raven mouth. Okay. I'm very excited about my raven. Because it's really cute and fuzzy. I'm I'm really pleased with how my paintings have been coming out. Sometimes we'll have to round up my paintings at the beginning, and then they weren't bad. It's just they've gotten a lot better and more nuanced. And it's cool for me to see that. Okay. Last but not least, because she has eyebrows, she has makeup, she has the jewelry I wanted, she has lip crease, little burb has a little eye. All those good fun things. So what I want to do now, to rinse out this brush, I'm going to paint just some black decorative flowers in the corners. Because I want to bring in the theme color. I don't want the background to just be empty and white. But flowers kind of like petunia shaped, I guess. So I just had an idea for a logo idea. Okay. I just had a cool idea. That's just the sound of my brain like coming up with art ideas. Still my favorite background that I've ever done on these paintings is my background for Wallace with the dripping ink. I'm very much a fan of that background. The smoke and the dripping ink. That was cool. Forgot what dahlia flowers look like, but maybe these are like dahlias. And I'm almost done. Okay, so that part is done, and I'm going to take little paint pieces that are falling off onto the carpet, like dried paint pieces. Okay, I'm really happy with how this painting came out. I just want to take this very gentle little brush. Gotta get some paint on it to do something. Dang it. The paint in this cap is like thick, and I just want the paint so I can just do this. Oops. This is me cursing at my painting stage in painting, if you couldn't tell. But yeah, I've had a lot of fun painting this today. There's like the little flower parts with the pollen on them. Alrighty. may or may not leave those in. I'll think about that. I'll check it out in my Photoshop. Hang on a second. Just me thinking about how I can make this, bring this color in. Because I do like the contrast of that. I can get this here. Got that. I paint that too. I will probably, yeah, it's more even. I'll erase the one in front of the crow's beak in Photoshop. I like that a lot. I like that. Okay, I'm happy with it now. I was thinking because I was overall happy with how it turned out, but I was like, the flowers, to like exemplify, like, these are flowers, they're not just blobs. I was like, I should add the little pollen parts. And then I was like, but then I added the pollen parts, which I thought looked cool, but I'm like, there's just this random bit of pink that doesn't match anything else in the painting. I'm like, that's great. And then I was thinking, like, the sides are kind of blank. And now that I've had this other stuff, like when it was just the yellow diamond shape, and it was just the yellow diamond shape, and it looked nice, but I was like, there's the corners, I could do something with them. Do a little bit more of a dynamic background. And then I was like, I could do the pink like that. And again, I'll clean up that extra stray line, because I was like, and then I made the other one larger, and I decided to change it. I'm really happy with how it came out, and y'all are my witness. I'm taking my brushes out of the water, and I'm going to put them, they're all rinsed off, and they're going back in the pile. That's what y'all have to witness. Anyways, but yeah, my painting of Dirish is now done. She has all of her pretty jewelry and her fuzzy little raven and her flowers and her background. I'm really happy with how it came out. This was really a lot of fun to paint. Especially I didn't have as much context for what she looked like. I didn't have a reference image. Like, quite a few of the other people have had some kind of like face clean type image, so, or at least like a commissioned picture of them. And for her, I was like, well, I'm gonna make it up as I go, and I'm gonna figure it out. But I'm really pleased with how it came out. She got her little burb. But yeah. So, thank you so much, everybody, for coming out here. Dirish is one of the characters in Casper Oliver's Welcome to Nexilis D&D stream. It's a queer homebrew D&D stream featuring players Jason LaRock, Chelsea Finley, and Jenny O'Sullivan. And you can watch that on Casper's Twitch channel every Monday evening at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And their Twitch channel is Casper Oliver VO for voiceover. So CasperOliver VO for voiceover. That's their Twitch channel. So go check it out, and you can see, like, Dirish is not one of the, she's one of the NPCs. She's not a player character, but she is very badass. So, but yeah, and you can join me back here on my channel Fridays at 2:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the next, little bit. I'll be painting Welcome to Nexilis characters on each stream. So, because I'm doing the whole set of them, and I think there's like about 18 or so characters. So yeah, but yeah, thank you so much for everybody who was coming out to watch me paint this, because I had so much fun painting this, and it was kind of challenging because I was trying to figure out, what should her outfit look like, and things like that. I had some logistical things like that to figure out, but I am really pleased with how it came out. And yeah, so thank you everybody for hanging out, chilling, and I hope that you had fun, and I hope you have a good week and stay safe and have fun doing whatever it is you work on. Like, if you make creative stuff, I hope that goes well, and if you're just chilling, I hope that you have a relaxing week. And but yeah, I appreciate y'all so much, and thank you. So have a good day, and bye.